that's because I'm rebooting from the BIOS. You know, however you want to fucking pronounce it. And we are booting right into my, where the fuck is it? Flash drive. Here we go. So, you should be able to get a signal somewhere now. If Linux doesn't fuck up. Let's see what it's doing. Is it giving any signal out? It is certainly not giving a fucking signal. Jesus Christ, the install is not. Oh well. I'm sure that can be fixed. Huh. Oh, dude. Dude! Is it really not going to output a fucking signal over here? Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. That is some fucking horse shit. No, I'm reinstalling to re-image the entire thing, give it a clean little setup. How the fuck do I... Hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Maybe. I can fucking do one of these. Can I cause it to, like, initialize across the board? No, I cannot cause it to initialize across the fucking board. However... I'm gonna do something that is unfucking precedented. Not really. I'm gonna edit with lag. How's that? How's that for the audience? I'm gonna edit with some fucking lag in the mix. So, wait a minute. Let me do a power off. Not that big of a deal. Whew. Gen Z canceling Mr. Potato Head? I expect that from people that don't do shit with their life. Okay, let's disconnect all these display ports. God damn, this one's stuck in like a fucking virgin. Jesus Christ. Alright, there we go. So technically should still be an NVIDIA card. Oh, dude, I can do the most janky shit in the fucking world. Wait a minute. Oh man, I can really do some jank sauce. Oh, fuck, wait. I can really do something fucking janky right now. I know this has a pass-through. Let me grab a, Oh my god! We can do that. Hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck up, chief. Hold the fuck up. What is this? HDMI out to this? Yes! Okay, we're cooking with gas. We're cooking with the gasoline, boys and girls. Okay, so first we're going to boot into this shit. Yes, my install medium. And I am going to have some notes up for me right here. So let it boot up real quick. And once we're in here, we're in here. Why do I like Linux so much? Because it's a superior operating system, and I use it for a lot of my shit. Let's see, there's one error, and oh, that's my Bluetooth device. Okay, that's not an important factor at the fucking moment. All right, login prompts. So now that we're in Linux, let's clear this bullshit. We need to check if I have a EFI var. I think it's FF. No, fuck. What is it? What is the oh yeah, it's EFI var -L. Okay, we're booted in perfectly. This means that I'm in UEFI, which is like fucking superior shit. All right, if you're not in UEFI boot, you're doing it wrong. You're in like old people boot. All right, we don't do old people shit around here, okay? We do it like new. This is like really boring for fucking YouTube, so I'm doing it right here to sort of, you know, not freak out the audience a little bit. Let me just open up what is that thing? Where's Twitch TV? I cannot join Discord, friend. I'm in the middle of something fucking wild. God, shut up! I fucking hate this stupid fucking phone, dude. God. Fucking insanity. It's just like, I need it for the fucking notes. It's like, dog, I don't fucking want to play that. I don't want to play fucking games right now, dude. All right, let me see. Ping Yahoo right now. Let's see if Yahoo's responding. Okay, so now that we have a network connection, we're pretty fucking good. The reason why I pinged was so that we can have a network and all that good fucking gravy, right? That's why we did it. That's how Mafia fucking works. So now that we have internet, we know that we're on UEFI. We're pretty fucking good to go. So let's format our drives. Now, this is where everyone fucking fails. They're like, this is really hard. I'm going to show you. So, you see, these are all hard drives. So, SDA, SDB, SDC, SDD, right? So, SDD is actually our boot drive. You can see where it says /run arch ISO /boot mount. That's our install drive. Now, you can also tell from how big the thing is. So you know how it says SDD 848 and then 1 and 14.9 gigs. That shit, that's basically the total like drive size. Now what gets really fucking confusing is when you look at SDA, SDB, and SDC. Now, you have a way to figure out which drive this is. So let's assume that you fucking know. Let's assume that for a second that you know, right? Like what drive you're... Let's assume that you know that you have this brand of a drive that you want to install to, right? Because it's not fucking easy isolating it, all right? The way that you're going to do it is I think it's like HD parm, and then you do -I, and you do /dev, and then you do /say SDB. So the reason why I did that was at the top line, it says model equals Samsung SSD 860 QVO. So that's the drive I'm going to be using to install. I know the SDA is another drive. I know SDC is a different drive. So I know SDB is what I want to do. Now, this is where it's very important. You do not want to fucking do the next steps and fuck up SDA, SDC, SDB. You need to be very fucking careful, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to zap the drive to completely clear it out. So we're going to do cg disk. We're going to do /dev /SDB, right? So when you, oh, that's not what we would do. Not cg disk yet. I think it's, is it? No, it's gdisk that does it. cg disk is for partitioning. So you want to do gdisk dev SDB. Now, right here, it's going to tell you the partition table scan. So you've got a protective MBR. This has an actual OS in it. So now what you want to do is you want to press X for expert mode, Z for zap, right? Which is we're going to wipe out the drive, right? All the GPT partitions, everything. So hit yes. It's going to be like, are you sure? Blanking it? Yes. So now that you've done this, if you do LSBLK, you can see that SDB is completely empty. It has nothing to it. There's no partition or whatever. So let's get down to actually partitioning it. Do cg disk dev SDB for the drive we're using. This is going to give you a little fucking warning. It's going to tell you it's a damaged disk, all that bullshit. It's fine. So now you have free space. So here's where we're going to start partitioning, right? Now, the way that we're going to do it is the way that people do it for Linux is like you either have like a home drive, you have like root and home separated. We're going to keep them separated because we're not fucking potatoes. All right, we're not fucking troglodytes. We're going to keep our things separated, okay? All right, that's what we're going to fucking do. All right, so hit new. It's going to tell you first sector. Hit enter for automatic. Now, this is our boot drive. Now, this is a little overkill, but I'm going to give it 1024, which is 1 gig, right? Megabytes. So M, capital M, lowercase I, capital B. So we're going to give this, and it's going to ask you for a certain code to tell you what type of partition we're doing. For a boot, especially EFI, it's EF00. So hit enter, and it's going to tell you the partition name. Type in boot. So now you've got an EFI system partition for booting. Now, it's always going to give you 1007 kilobytes. I swear to God, I had no idea what the fuck this was until I realized this is like protective MBR location, I think. But anyways, not important. Go down to 930 gigs, the rest of your free space. Hit enter again. First sector, always enter. And the next thing you want to do is you want to make swap, right? So everyone that I've ever talked to has no fucking idea what Linux is. Says, you don't need swap, which is bullshit. You always need swap space, right? Now, since I have 64 gigs of RAM, I'm probably never going to fucking run out of RAM. Let's be real, okay? However, I'm still going to give myself swap space. So now I get to choose. Do I want to give myself 64 gigs of RAM space? This would allow me to hibernate my system. But I'm not really fucking doing that. Basically, your swap partition is like a Windows page file. So if you ever run out of your RAM, like if I run out of 64 gigs and I don't have swap space, it's going to start killing all the programs that I have in order to start using my RAM. But if I have swap space, it'll take the programs that aren't so important and just take them from the memory, RAM, and throw them into the swap partition. this is like a Windows page file. You want to give yourself something. I know that a swap file is better in certain ways, but I actually just stick with the partition itself. I know that it's easier to modify the swap file, but this is sort of like a one and done deal. So I'm going to give myself like, I would say 16 gigabytes of swap space. I think that's a fair amount. It's still overkill, but I'm not going to give a whole 64 gig partition to the system. I'm just doing a one and done sort of partition. So I'm going to do this right here, and it's going to ask for hex code. Hex code is always 8200 for swap space. So do that and title this swap. Now we're going to make the rest of our partitions. So here's where you're going to do your root partition. This is where your operating system and all of that stuff is really going to be sitting. Now, Arch Linux says you can give yourself 20 gigs, but I always run out of that shit a lot. So I'm going to give myself 35 gigs this time, because 35 gigs I feel like with a terabyte of space is plenty for it. So we're going to do enter for first sector. We're going to do 35 GIB, hit enter. And here it says 8300, just give that enter because it's a Linux file system. And we're going to call that root. So now go down here, the rest of your space, hit new, hit enter to use the rest of the space available, hit enter for 8300, and call this the home partition. So now we've got 4 partitions. We have the boot partition that I highlighted, we have the swap partition, we have where we're going to install our Linux operating system too, and then we have our home partition. And the reason, so we keep this separate for one reason, right? Let's say you want to make a backup, but your home and root partition are the same. It's pretty stupid to back up your operating system alongside your personal file. If you have a home partition that's separate, you can back this up with relative ease without having things sort of, involved in the backup that really don't need to be there. It's easier to replace your fucking operating system. Separating it like this is just cleaner in general. So now that we've done all this, we're gonna go highlight right. Hit enter, and I want to hit yes, and it's gonna write all of this shit. So operation is completed successfully. Now, one we're gonna do is we're gonna quit this out. And to show you how the partitioning happened, if you do lsblk, rewrite, you can see that SDB now has SDB 1, 2, 3, and 4, corresponding with all of the file sizes that we gave to it. So now we've partitioned, but it's not all the way there. We have to format these drives. This isn't Linux from scratch. This is nowhere close to that. So to do this first, we have to look at our boot drive. Now, since we're booting, what we need to do is we need to make it a FAT32 drive. That's the partition scheme we're going with. We're not going to use anything else because we want our BIOS to detect and go into the bootloader and then boot into the operating system. So we're going to do make fs, all right, make file system right here, .fat dash capital F32. Now, where is that going to be? It's going to be dev sdb1 for our boot drive. So hit enter, it just did it for it. Now we're going to make a directory not directory yet, sorry, I'm getting way too ahead of myself. We're going to make the swap partition. So do mk swap, and then you want to do /dev/sdb2, right? So once you've done that, it set up the swap, but you need to enable it. So do swap on dev sdb2. So now we have swap on. So now it's time to make the rest of it. So for Linux, we use a partition scheme called extended4. So what we're going to do is make fs.ext4, and we're going to do dev sdb3. So now that's done, dev sdb contains an extension for file system last mounted on March 1st, 2020. Did I enter the right one? sdb3. If it does this, you just hit yes. It's not the end of the fucking world. It's just kind of a weird error. Yeah, go for it. It's not the end of the world. I think something must have fucked up somewhere. I've gotten this error before, and I'm trying to rack my brain why it happened, but I don't think it's going to cost that much of a fucking problem. Anyways, do lsblk, and you can see now that these are partitions again. One of them says swap, right? So swap means that we've enabled swap like good little boys. Now it's time to do a lot of the mounting. So now we're going to be mounting the folders we're going to use to initially install Linux. So now you're going to do mount /dev sdb3, right? And you're going to mount it to /mnt. This is mounting what? Our root drive. So we're going to mount it. Now we're going to make a directory, all right? And we're going to make the directory mnt boot. Then we're going to make another directory, and we're going to call it mnt/home. for our home drive. Now we're going to mount dev SDB1, and we're going to mount that to boot drive. Why? Because we're mounting it to the bootloader. This is where we're going to install all of our bootloaders and everything. So mount that. Then you want to do mount dev SDB4, which is our home directory, the biggest one that we have, the home partition. And we're going to mount that to, you guessed it, mnt/home. So now that's done, all right, it's time to get our mirror list ready. So big thing that I can teach you, always do backups. If you're going to modify system files and important files, you want to back up as much as you can. So you're going to do cp for copy, all right? We're going to do etc pacman-d. Now this is, Pacman in this case is Arch's version of the software distribution. If you're on Ubuntu, you may have ever heard of something called apt-get, which is their version. On Fedora, I think it's called yum and DNF. These are just different package installers, right? So for Arch, it's all about Pacman. Now with Pacman, what we're going to be doing over here is we're going to do pacman-d, we're going to do mirror list, and we're going to back that up. So with the space over here, we're going to do etc pacman-d mirror list.backup. So what does this command do? It copies mirror list to another file, but mirror list.backup. So hit enter, and bam, we're done. To show you what it looks like, if you do pacman-d, you can see that within the folder is the mirror list and the mirror list backup. So that's just command line backing up. It's kind of like right-clicking a file and pasting it in the same directory with a different name. That's just what we did, except in a command line. So anyways, now that that shit's done, it's time to go do sudo nano. But in this case, you don't have to do nano. You can just do nano because it says root at arch ISO. Sudo is to do root commands, but we're already in root anyway. So do nano, etc. mirror list. Not mirror list. Hold on a second. Oh, I don't have bash completion. Hold on. Nano, etc. mirror list.conf. Where's the mirror list? Hold on a second. What the fuck? What am I doing? Oh, wait. Fuck, I know what I'm doing. You want to do nano etc pacman-d mirror list. Now, in the mirror list, okay, this is what Arch Linux contacts to basically, like, this is the servers you're hitting to download your software, right? Now, you see how we have a fuck ton of these? Not all of these servers are useful. Not all these servers are what we want. Even though that this was created by Arch Linux in Reflector very recently, we want to make this even better. We want less mirrors, but healthier mirrors. So we're going to back out of this. Now there's a tool called rank mirrors, but as you can see, we don't actually have that tool. So we need to install this rank mirrors. It used to be part of the install, but for some reason Arch removed it. So I'm going to show you how to install a program. Do pacman. But no, actually, better case. If you were on your desktop, you do sudo pacman-s, and in the first case, you want to do sy because we haven't updated initially. So you want to do this first to download all of these databases. Then you want to do sudo pacman-S, just S, and you want to do pacman contrib in this case. I know this is the package I need. So here you see that it found the package. You hit Y, and it downloads all of its dependencies. Bam, we're installed. By the way, I'm not ending this just to the Arch Linux install. We're actually going to build my whole fucking computer. So just understand. Now, in this case, all right, we're going to go to, we're going to go back into that like fucking mirror list. And as you can see, everything is uncommented. So to show you how a computer works, if you comment, basically you add that pound sign in the beginning, the hashtag for you Twitter users, it makes that invisible to the system. We're not rooting it. We haven't installed our Arch Linux install yet. We're installing it. So this makes it invisible. But because it's all removed, Arch sees all these servers. So that's all fine. Now, you want to do rank mirrors, which is rank mirrors, right? -N6, so the top 6 best servers. And what we're going to do to make our life easier is we're going to make this look into our backup. And we're going to then, using one arrow key, copy all that over to our main mirror list. So etc pacman-d mirror list. And we're going to hit enter. And as you can see, it's just blinking. There's no response. What's happening right now is Arch Linux is now sitting through our system, and it's basically calculating every single one of those mirrors and seeing the best one. So you can kind of sit over here for a little bit. This is going to be shorter than what it initially was. They used to give you every fucking server they had, so this process would take like 15 fucking minutes. You know what I mean? But since we don't have a lot of servers, it's probably going to take like 30, maybe a minute max. So this is a quicker entire scenario. Do I recommend switching to Manjaro from Windows? Manjaro is basically just Arch Linux without all of this bullshit. But I would say it's a good system to switch to. I use Manjaro. I do have some issues. The reason I use Arch Linux is every time I deal with any form of Linux like Ubuntu, like Fedora, like Manjaro, they always have fucking problems with NVIDIA cards or proprietary things, and it's just annoying. All right, I just don't deal with it. I'm going to show you how to game on Linux, actually. I will show you how to do it. Serious thoughts on Gentoo. Gentoo's great if you're willing to deal with, like, fucking compiling everything. On a modern system like mine, not that big of an issue. But it definitely, like, unless you really are streamlining everything, it's fine. But for the most part, I don't really get down with it. Arch is good enough for what I do. So now that we've done all this, it's time to install Linux. So how long do you think the actual installation of the Linux system will take? Just wager in the chat real quick. How long do you think it's going to take to just basically install Linux? Somebody said 10 minutes, an hour, 5 minutes, 30 seconds. I'll show you. So here's how we're going to do it. Since we have all of those things mounted, if you do lsblk, you'll see how SDB1 is mounted to boot, our boot drive. SDB2 is a swap. SDB3 is the actual mount root. SDB4 is mount/home, right? So, because we have all of it mounted, let's do packstrap, which is how we're going to install Linux for the initially, -i, and now we're going to do base devel, Linux, and Linux-headers. I believe that won't really be necessary too much, but I do it anyways as good practice. Base is not a directory. What? What the fuck? Oh, I'm a reject when it comes to this. Caught myself flipping there. You want to do packstrap-i/mnt. Hit enter. Watch this. It's going to ask you what repository cores. Just hit enter. It's going to ask you, what do you want? Making it CPIO, booster, Dracut. Just hit enter. So here, we have to download 333 megabytes. So this is how long the install process takes. Hit Y, and bam, there you go. See, people would look at you like you're a hacker man right now. And not really. It's basically downloading a bunch of packages, and we're installing, and that's pretty much what it is. When I use newer Arch Linux ISOs to install it, when I install it at the end, when I boot to the normal system, the LAN connection doesn't work. Is my problem or Arch problem? It's probably because you didn't install the network appropriately. You'll probably see it in this. Sometimes you might have a network device that's a little fucking out there. Usually some laptops may, but I'm going to show you how to get it done for the most part as we get in. But yeah, it's just downloading all the shit like GCC and everything, so people will look at you like you're hacking the government right here, but really you're just downloading fucking files. Why would I install Arch Linux from scratch? So the reason I use Arch is, like I said earlier, I install exactly what I want, okay? Sometimes Manjaro thinks too ahead of it, and sometimes they install a driver that I don't need. Sometimes they install things that I just don't want, period. The reason I use Arch is that it really is just a system that I can design 100% myself. That's what it is. So now it's going to check the keyring, and bam, there it is, installation. And we are fucking done? I think we might have to do an initial init CPIO. Yeah, there it is. It's just doing the initial init CPIO. You can see, like, fucking, what is going on over here? Possible missing firmware for fucking everything. Jesus Christ. What is that? I'm sure we'll figure it out later. Let me just see. Warning about old Perl modifications. Setting locale failed. Please. Falling back to standard locale. That is fine. So we've actually just installed everything. I need to check some of these errors real quick. Yeah, just missing firmware for some modules, but we'll get that all fucking handled in. So now we have it done. We've actually installed the actual system. So let's do a genf stab. This is basically setting up those initial drives. So we can actually, you know, have Arch recognize them as we're going in. So do genf stab -u -U -p and you want to do /mnt, all right, and then you want to do a double arrow, drop into mnt etc, and then the fstab. Fstab is basically the file we're using to store all of the drives that Linux should be recognizing. So hit enter. We have generated the fstab. To show you what an fstab is, you can go to mnt etc fstab and nano. And basically, Linux has calculated every single partition I had, right? So SDB3, and it's got all the UUID. So see how it calculates the UUID? It calculated where it's mounted normally, extension 4, RW, rel time, all that stuff. So this is basically what we're sitting at. Now, let's fucking go down even further and actually load into our new installation. So we're going to do arch chroot, and we're going to do /mnt. Now we're in our new installation, boys and girls. Now it's time to fucking modify this. So we're going to do nano etc. Oh, not babby. What the fuck? First things first. Since we're in our new installation, nano doesn't exist. You see that? Nano does not exist. So what we're going to do is we're going to do sudo pacman-sy, you know, update all this package base and everything, make sure it's there. Sudo pacman-s, nano, and bash completion. So hit enter, and we are now in. We have nano available. So that's how we install programs. I don't use Vim because I don't really like Vim. I prefer nano myself, just my personal belief, my personal thing. So that's what I do. So now we want to do nano, etc, locale gen. Now this is where we set system locale. Now you're going to have to find out what locale is in your area, but I know that I'm in nus.utf-8. So we're going to do Control W to start finding. We're going to do nus for me, and bam, right there, nus.utf-8 space utf-8. So we're going to uncomment that so Arch can see it. We're not going to uncomment anything else. We're only going to uncomment this. Now Arch Linux will look into this file and say, this shit doesn't exist except that one line. So exit out of it, save it, and bam, you're done. Now it's time to generate the locale. So you're going to type locale.gen. It looks through the file. That's the only thing I see. And it generates that. I'm not an IT engineer. That's a whole different thing. Cybersecurity is my thing. So now it's time to echo shit. So you want to do echo. Echo, basically, we're just going to copy whatever echo. We're going to echo a certain line into a file. So we're going to do echo, and we're going to do capital lang, you know, language in this case, and this is very important. Do not fuck up like this. I have fucked up, and it's caused me some headaches. So do n_us. So whatever it said your locale was, remember it. So n_us, right? .utf. I have it always written over here so I don't fuck up. Right there, bam. And copy. It's not a script. I just have like fucking all of my like my important things that I can't fuck up, just like in line, like NUS UTF-8, just so I don't fuck it up. You know what I mean? And then you want to copy that into your etc locale, not gen, locale conf. So hit enter, and then you want to do the export, right? Lang. All right, in this case, not that. You can't do that. Lang. Oh, wow. You can't even do a capital export. Lang. It's literally the no fuck up list. Like, you have to, like, fucking... even though I know exactly what I'm typing, I, like, triple check it. So it's, like, always n UTF-8. So I always do that. Because if I fuck this up, it's just going to fucking annoy me. So hit enter. And we should be good. So... we set our language. We've done everything. What's next is we're probably going to set up things like fucking... we want to do time now. So the way that time works is we have basically different zones. So to show you what I'm looking at, let's do ls user share time zone. Why is it not? Oh, not zone info. If you want anything, I'm going to show you what I'm actually reading as well alongside this. I'm gonna link something in the chat real quick of what I'm reading alongside. Arch. Install wiki. Oh man, I can't type on this fucking thing. Yeah, installation guide. This is what you want to be reading alongside. Don't watch a video or anything. This is what you want to read. It's always up to date. That's what I'm looking through for all these extra deals. But that's what we're doing. It's not a guide that I'm following, but I just keep it up there because sometimes, and this is very important. So the reason why I do this all from memory mostly, but the reason why that guide is important is during the install process, sometimes they change a couple things, right? Maybe directories or whatever. So even though I have it in memory, if they change a directory and I'm remembering something else, you know, it's not always common. I can always refer back to that guide because it's always up to date, and you can, you know, figure out what they changed. Because sometimes that does happen. Like I told you earlier, they used to have that rank mirrors in, then they took it out for some fucking reason. But in that, you can figure it out. So that's an important thing. That's the one thing you probably want to just fucking have, right? So anyways, zone info. And if you hit enter, you can see how they got like every country, right? They've got Africa, America, Antarctica, Arctic, Asia, Atlantic, Australia, Brazil, Canada, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a symbolic link here. So let's do LNS, and we want to do user share zone info. And I know that I'm Canada, so it's Canada. And I know that I'm Eastern, so Canada, Eastern, and there's nothing much more. So you want to do like one arrow, and you want to copy that into your Etsy and local time. So now that we've got that set, you know, we're pretty fucking good. So now that we've got our local time, now it's time to do hardware clock. So you do HW clock dash sys TOHC dash UTC. Hit enter. Bam, we're done. So now that we've got all of that shit done, it's time to now create the host name for our device. Our host name is like the overall name for the system, right? Like our host name. So what we're going to be doing over here is we're going to do echo, and I'm going to call this the overlord. So echo overlord, and you want to do like Etsy, the host name. God damn, dude, I haven't eaten. I need to fucking eat. So there we go. We got our host name done. And then you want to do other things. So this is where you want to enable a bunch of shit. First off, actually, no, you want to do nano Etsy pacman d. All right. No, not pacman, pacman.conf. And in here you want to enable multilib. So if you want 32-bit applications, right, which there are a fair fucking bit of, you want to go all the way down and you want to enable multilib. You see how they have two? They have multilib testing. Just get multilib. Testing is like all the experimental branch, all right? If you want stable fucking software, don't go to the testing branch, all right? It's a bad fucking sign, all right? Don't do that. You want to close and save that, and we're good. Now, this is where you want to enable things. If you have an SSD, you want to get trim support, right? So you do system CTL, which is the, you know, fucking, this is what it's going with. This is like Arch right there. You can get like init. I think it's like init RD or something. No, not init RD. What's the other one? Fuck. I know system CTL is the init system we've got over here, but like, what's the other one? It's like Void Linux fucking uses it. I think it's like RC or something of the sort. Shit, I'm trying to remember. Because I know this is system D. The other one is like fucking someone in the chat. OpenRC. OpenRC is like fucking Gen 2 shit. Run it, I think, is Void. But system D is what we've got over here. And I know a lot of people hate system D, but it's not so bad. All right, don't fucking bitch about it. It's all right. So you want to do system CTL, enable something, and you want to do the fstrum timer. So it creates a symlink, and that whole service is going to be enabled. You're going to want this if your system has an SSD, and if you have a modern system, it's probably going to be a case. So now that we updated our pacman with the multilib, it's time to actually update its directory. So we're going to do pacman-sy. And because we enabled multilib, everything's up to date. It just has to download the multilib. And for some reason, it just won't fucking do it. I think it's... Oh, there it is. There it is. Downloaded at 24 kilobytes, boys. We're looking pretty good into the situation. All right, so root password. So you do password, just literally type that. And this is what your root password is going to be. So if you're doing things like, you know, if you're... All of the stuff that we've been doing up till now would require sudo. Sudo is what we're going to be needing. So this password is going to be like your root password, right? I would make sure it's very different from your actual username password as a security measure. If you want to keep it the same, keep it the same. Think of it like your Windows administrator account, right? This is your administrator password. So enter it again. If it doesn't show up typed, that's literally the case. It's security. Now it's time to add a user. So you can add as many as you want, but I'm going to add my user account right here. So we're going to do user add. All right, and we're going to do -m-g users, and we're going to give it, all of its fucking commands. So we're going to give it the wheel group, the storage group, and also the power group, power users. And we're going to do -s. We're going to give it its terminal. So in this case, since I only have bash, bin bash, we'll change it later. And we'll give my name as honest. So hit enter, and what? Oh, fuck, I think I screwed something up. Hold on a second. I didn't give myself the capital G after it. Fuck me. Yeah, I just saw that. Capital G for groups. Because you have to do capital G, then you have to give yourself the fucking groups. Everything else is fine. Hit enter. So we got our user now. No error, no nothing. Give your username a password. So password, in my case, it's honest. So hit enter. And it's time to give that a username password. So bam, we gave myself a password. Our users are now fucking made. So now that we got the users made, we're going to edit the sudo list. So editor equal nano, because we're using nano to edit it, and call it vice sudo. So here's your sudoers file. Now, to make our life really fucking easy, we're gonna find %wheel, and we're gonna uncomment this so people in the wheel group can execute commands from this. So get rid of that. And in the bottom, we're going to make sure that things like our default password are now a requirement. So instead of using, that username password, we're going to make them use the admin password. So in this blank new line, do defaults and type in root PW for root password. And you can save the list and close it off. Now that is all fucking done, we're going to make sure that our EFIs are mounted, okay? Our EFI var fs is mounted. So all we need to do is mount -t EFI var fs, EFI var fs, and we're going to do /sys firmware EFI, EFI var s, and hit enter. And if it says it's already mounted, you fucking good, chief. You fucking good. You fucking fine. You know what I mean? Now it's time to install our bootloader. How fast do you think our bootloader is going to take? Well, I'll show you. You do bootctl and install. Now I'm going to hit enter. It's going to blow your fucking minds. Whoa! Created all of our boot entries. What the fuck? Less than a fucking second. That was some good shit right there. That's what happens when you use fucking system deboot, boys. I use that grub shit. See, Manjaro uses grub. This is our fucking small bootloader right here. All right. Now, the thing with this bootloader is you got to get fucking really nitty gritty yourself. So now you want to do nano, and you want to make your boot entry. So do Etsy, not Etsy, sorry. You want to do, go into your boot, go into boot, go to loaders, entries, and we're going to call this, let's call it default, okay? Just rip on the Fortnite kids a little bit. The Fortnite default. So default conf. So let's give this directory a title for the bootloader, right? So we're going to do title. And we're going to call this Muta Arch Linux. All right. Now, in here, we're going to lead it to a bunch of the initializations. So we're going to do Linux. We're going to do /VM Linux, not VM Linux, VM Linux -Linux. We're pointing it to basically, Linux is fucking, we're pointing it to the kernel, and it's in init ramfs. Now we're going to do init rd. Right? And this is just like, we're going to come back to this, but I'm just setting it right now for the stage. Init, ramfs, Linux or, no, Linux.image, right? So now that we got all this shit up, I fucked up. This is where Linus was. This is where I was screwed up. So you want to exactly type it like I've done right here. Okay? Let's get down to it. So Control X, save, and call it a day. Now, interestingly enough, kiddos, you also want to make sure that your microcode patches are up to running. What is a microcode patch? Well, for certain processors, in order to get this shit running, you need you need all their security updates and their fucking stability and all that bullshit in all of it. Now, microcodes, you could normally update through the BIOS, but in Linux, you can apply all of this shit during the boot process. So since I have an Intel CPU, we want to do sudo pacman s. I'm just going to do sudo to make it easier for you all to understand. Intel-U code. I believe AMD has its own U code, but I'm an Intel guy, so I'm installing the Intel microcode. We are currently downloading this fucking shit at 100. Okay, it's ramping up a little bit. It's ramping up, but we've installed the microcode. Now I think AMD has a fucking microcode, so let me see AMD U code. Yes, AMD does in fact have its own microcodes, but we're not going to install that because I don't have an AMD fucking card, right? Okay, you understand that? Now we're going to go back to that bootloader directory. Before initrd, okay, you want to make sure you do the absolute fucking smart thing and do initrd, and you make sure Linux calls onto that Intel U code .img. You don't do this, bad fucking things are going to happen. Now, if you're a Linux guy, you'll probably have heard of a name called Glorious fucking Eggroll, and he's come up with the greatest fucking scheme, the greatest command line entry I've ever seen during this shit, okay? All right, you all ready? You want to use the microcode. Use the microcode shit. I promise it'll make life a little bit fucking easier, okay? Jesus Christ. So, this will boot. However, what happens if Linux decides to fuck up or something changes in the hardware level and your partitions get a little moved around in the hardware scheme, right? A little different. May not be so common, but we're going to make sure we're going to grab Linux by the fucking testicles every boot process and tell it that's the drive you're going to go behind. So let me just Google this man's fucking command. He has like something here. It's in a video. I have it saved, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. So here it is. I've got it going. We're going to type in echo, quotations, options, and this has to be very fucking on point. Root equal part UUID in capitals equal dolans. All right, dolan, bracket, not curly brackets, normal brackets. All right, we're going to do BLKID, block ID, dash S, part UUID, dash O, value for dev SDB 3. That's what? Our root drive. So we want this to always boot into that root drive. It's not going to boot into home. It ain't going to fucking boot anywhere else. It's only going to boot to that drive right there. Okay? That motherfucking drive is the one. And then we're going to do RW and, apostrophe. Double arrows, because double arrows are very fucking important, okay? Double arrows are what we're going to be using to add a line to the file. If you do a single arrow, it literally will just overwrite the entire fucking file. So that's why we have these different arrow schemes. This is to add a new line, okay? And then you want to add it to where? Our bootloader. So bootloader entries default.conf. Hit enter. You might be like, what the fuck did that do? Well, echo was basically us, echoing this line right here. So apostrophe options root. Now this whole part UUID was so that we can get the UUID for the part, right? The partition ID itself. That will never change, okay? That's like a fucking fingerprint. All right? We gave it the block ID of that specific partition. No matter what, that will never change. Now, if we do nano boot loader entries default, you can see that this is the line it added. It will always boot to this motherfucking line, boys. It will always boot to this line. We are literally telling it, motherfucker, you will never boot anywhere else but this partition ID. And it's very important, okay? It's going to save your fucking brain if something happens. Very important. So now that we got all of this fucking done, it's time to check if we have a working network connection. So for the person earlier who talked about network, I'll show you this much. If you type an IP link, all right, it'll give you all of this shit, all right? You can do IP adder. It'll give you, more. But IP link gives you a bunch of extra shit. So you've got LO, which is localhost loopback. That's not important. Eno 2 is the Ethernet port that I have connected to the internet. That's what I need. WLAN 0 is basically our good old-fashioned fucking wireless card. Now, I know that you guys have seen my fucking MAC address. It's all cool and dandy. I really don't fucking care. That may or may not be spoofed. It's up for you to figure it out. I don't really give a shit. I'm not sitting over here trying to fucking, you know... This isn't the days of PSP where everyone had to hide their fucking MAC address shit. I don't care. It's not that big a deal. All right, you know what I mean? Fun fact, by the way. I'm going to tell you guys something right now. MAC addresses don't really mean a whole lot anymore. Let me tell you why. Every fucking device spoofs them. iPhones, Androids, most laptops, everything out there, those motherfucking devices have just built-in MAC spoofers. And it's getting to a point where that doesn't even fucking help anymore. This is not like giving away my IP address. You really cannot fucking do anything with the MAC address. Okay? You're really not going to fucking do anything with it. You can't DDoS it. You can't do whatever. If you think that you're going to commit a crime in my name using my MAC address, there's a million other fucking fingerprints you're leaving behind. And if you think all the feds do is use the MAC address to figure out... Trust me, it doesn't fucking help whatsoever. The MAC address means jack fucking shit. It's fuck and all. So it really doesn't matter. Anybody that says they're going to hack you with the MAC address, they're a fucking Roblox hacker, okay? I'm just putting that one out there. Does that ease someone? Does that ease some tension? I hope so. I hope so. Anyways, back to the fun part. We're going to do sudo pacman s, and we're going to install dhcpcd. You want to do this because it doesn't fucking come pre-installed. You want to install this real fucking quick, okay? And then now you want to enable dhcpcd, which is basically going to get our DHCP lease. It's going to get an IP address from the actual routers that we have to Linux on boot. So you want to do system ctl enable, and you want to do dhcpcd add eno2 dot service. Hit enter, and there you go. You've just done it. So that will now run dhcpcd on that fucking network device right there. If you don't do this, you're going to have to do this bullshit every time you boot. This is just fucking, this is what you want to do. So Linux handles it as you're booting in. So when you're picking your balls and you're getting your sandwich while your system's booting up, Linux is just there to do it, okay? I don't think it has dhcpcd because I don't even fucking know why. It's so stupid why they don't just keep that as a default, because you need it. So now you want to do sudo pacman-s. I hate interchanging sudo like that. It just makes me look like a fucking idiot, but I do it because in a teaching manner it's better. You want to install network manager, okay? This is a GUI tool, okay? So if you don't want to fuck around with this, and trust me, look, I love the command line like every other fucking Linux nerd out there, but Linux users are like fucking vegans, okay? They won't shut the fuck up about how much they know about the command line. Command line's great if you know what you're doing. But if there's a GUI tool that's lightweight and it can do your fucking job, just do it, okay? Jesus Christ. Hit enter and install all of this. I'm telling you, Arch users, this may seem overly complicated, but like when you've done it like 30 fucking times, it's really not that bad. This is basically a Linux install, except you're doing every step yourself. Most other Linux installs, you just hit next a bunch of times and it does all of this for you. Okay? So anyways, once you've installed Network Manager, it's time for you to do systemctl enable network manager service. And this is actually really fucking brain dead. So to install Network Manager, you need to do it all lowercase, but to enable it, the N and the M have to be capital. I don't know fucking why. It's so stupid. I hate it when they mix this lowercase, and well, it's just insanity. So now that Network Manager is fucking enabled, we need to make sure that I think at this point our Linux headers need to be there. So we need to install our graphic card, because if we don't do it before we boot up, it's going to cause a bad time. So each graphic card has its thing. If you have an AMD graphic card, there's going to be like 10 less fucking steps you need, right? If you have an NVIDIA card, oh boy, that's going to be fucking it. I'm going to show you all the shit you need to do, okay? So first off, you need your headers, okay? Because what we're going to be using is something called DKMS, which is the dynamic kernel. What is it? It's like dynamic kernel fucking. It's a dynamic kernel module. What the fuck is It's dynamic kernel module fucking. Somebody's going to Google it for me. No, it's literally not as easy as fucking and I'll show you what I'm doing. This is like the foolproof fucking way. So you need the Linux headers, okay? Listen, so Linux has two dynamic kernel module support. There we go. Or support, I think. Or dynamic kernel module system might be it. Whatever. There's two versions of the NVIDIA driver, okay? There's the fucking open source driver, which if you're in Linux, you're probably like, I love open source. It better be open source or I'm not touching it on my Linux drive. NVIDIA's proprietary is their proprietary code. So you are running, if in this fashion that I'm about to show you, you're kind of breaking the fucking Linux vegan lifestyle, which is only open source. The only reason I'm going to use Linux's proprietary drivers is because the open source version of the driver, while it's good, it's like fucking Muhammad Ali. Okay, the proprietary is like Muhammad Ali, okay? The open source, is like a fucking drunk, is like a drunk. It's like Shenmue 1, okay? All right? Where the sailors at, okay? When forklift mini game, okay? That's what we're doing, okay? Because, actually, here's a better fucking analogy. The mainline NVIDIA proprietary driver is like Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Great fucking game, everything. In fact, Metal Gear Solid 2, awesome game. The open source is Shenmue. Some people like Shenmue. Okay? People with limited time fucking don't. People who prefer quality don't. That's what it comes down to. So install those headers. Even though the headers are already installed, I'm just going to go through it again for the sake of it, just so it like installs. Oh my god, I'm touching my stitches. It's so gross. Ew, they fall out. Now it's time to install the fucking NVIDIA shit. So I have my notes over here, and this is literally what you're going to want. So do sudo pacman s and do NVIDIA DKMS. There's a normal NVIDIA, but we're going to do the DKMS so that every time we update Linux's kernel, it'll actually update all those. It'll recreate the driver for us right here through the DKMS system, which is ultimately better. I don't know why this isn't a fucking default, but this is what we're going to be doing. Oh, you can't see it. Anyways, okay. So you want to do sudo pacman-s DKMS. All right. There's a normal NVIDIA driver, which is fine, but I personally prefer this way because it's more foolproof. This is just a better way to handle it. Okay. I don't know why they don't make this a fucking default personally, but you want to do it this way. Now it's time to do libglv. No, not libg. What is it? That comes later, doesn't it? You want to do NVIDIA utils. Okay. OpenCL NVIDIA. You want to do libglvnd. Okay. And now it's time to do lib32. So you want the 32 libs from the multi-lib shit. Okay. This is for like 32-bit support and shit. glvnd. All right. Lib32 NVIDIA utils. And you want to do lib32 and OpenCL NVIDIA. And then NVIDIA settings. There's a couple other fucking things that you want, but this is like sort of like the basics. So hit enter. Dependency cycle will be installed before it's okay. Yeah, so that's basically Linux fixing a bunch of things up. Yeah, so as you can tell that like case sensitive shit is important. Linux fixed it up for me. It said Mesa will be involved before this, and that. Actually, I'll just do it myself. I'm not gonna let Linux fuck me over on this. Let me do. What was that? Okay, yeah. I'm not even gonna bother. I'm not gonna fucking come out with like, my ass handed to me. It's not that big of a deal. I'll just change the way that I've got it. OpenCL NVIDIA lib32 lib glvnd lib32 nvidia utils lib32 opencl nvidia, and then nvidia settings. Did I fuck it up? Fuck it, you know, let's just go with it. Fuck it. I thought I got things in and out somewhere. Actually, wait, does Pac-Man do that? No, it doesn't. It doesn't require it, does it? No, I'm thinking of fucking something else, dude. I'm thinking back to my fucking Ubuntu days. What I just did was, I think, brain dead. That's not important. Pac-Man is way more fucking smarter and streamlined than fucking apt-get. I swear to God, I think I had the fucking apt-get shit in my mind. If any of you guys are like Ubuntu users, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Apt-get, while is a great system, makes me want to fucking blow my brains out. I hate apt-get. I used to start off from that, but Jesus Christ, man, that thing is fucking annoying. We got a fucking little raid going on from fucking Kitboga? Shit, dude. What's up, guys? God damn, he raided with like 3,000. Jesus Christ. He raided an Arch Linux install stream. What a fucking... This is why I love about the fucking Twitch community, you know, when it comes to the computer nerd side of it. I hope that you got some fucking scammers today, brother. God damn. I hope that you got some scammers like my fucking... What is up with my download speed today? Okay? Is the Arch server shitting itself? Bam! Look at that. We're installing our fucking graphic drivers. Now, people who come in thinking that I'm hacking the government, no, I'm not. This part of it is spiking my CPU up to like no tomorrow. You can hear the fans ramp up on my computer because it's like building this fucking driver and shit. It's not that big a deal. We're going to install DKMS. We're going to get it. It's going to take a while. It takes a little bit of fucking time, dude. It takes a bit of time depending on your fucking potato. If you got a potato computer, it's going to be a little bit. Surprised it took this long. All right, so now that we got our drivers installed, NVIDIA is still fucking terrible, okay? NVIDIA is an awful fucking company when it comes to making this shit work. So we're going to go to Etsy. All right, no, Nano, Etsy, the make init CPIO, okay? This is what we're going to be using to, like, regenerate our init RAM FS. We want to go to the configuration. So where it says modules with, like, nothing in it, you want to do NVIDIA. All right, NVIDIA mode set. You want to do NVIDIA UVM. And then you want to do NVIDIA DRM. Not capital, DRM. This is very important in this order. If you fuck this order up, all right, bad times. I don't even know. I've never changed this order. Maybe you can mix and match. The world is your fucking mode set. All right, boys, go for it. But don't fuck it up. So save that. All right, you're good. Now it's time to also go back to our bootloader. So nano bootloader entries arch. No, not arch. Default. I usually call it arch and then arch like dash pass through and then arch dash AMD. But for the first time in my life, I called it default, which is a terrible fucking naming scheme, by the way. Don't ever do it. Now you see this options line? I want you to go to the end, and in boot time, I want NVIDIA to fucking, I want NVIDIA to win. I want NVIDIA to be fucking recognized everywhere, okay? This is very fucking important. You want to do NVIDIA-DRM mode set. This is straight from the NVIDIA Arch Wiki shit, all right? And you want to call it equal 1. This is very fucking important, okay? You don't fucking do this, all right? Your NVIDIA card's going to be shitting itself. Not entirely. Save that up. And now, you want to fucking create a hook, all right? Because if you don't create a hook, every time you update your kernel, your fucking drivers are going to sit there on the old kernel. It's going to be bad. So now it's time to make a little bit of a hook, all right? So go nano. Actually, you want to make a directory because this isn't there by fucking default. Make directory, Etsy, pacman.d, and then you want to call it hooks. I don't know why they don't fucking automatically do it. All right, I don't fucking understand the logic. They used to, I think, do it, but you want to make a hook. All right, we're almost done. We are almost done, okay? This is literally just for the NVIDIA people, okay? We pay a lot of money for our graphic cards just to get fucked over by Linux and not Linux, but NVIDIA. NVIDIA. Fuck that. All right, you want to do Nano, Etsy, Pac-Man D hooks, and call this NVIDIA. Now, you want to make square brackets, and you're going to tell Linux, this is the trigger. This is what's going to happen. So you want to do operation equal install, operation equal upgrade, operation equal remove. What is the type? Package. You want to do fucking target NVIDIA. Now what happens when this trigger happens? What happens when NVIDIA triggers the fuck out of the Linux Pac-Man Update Manager? You want to give it the title of action. All right. Now the action, you want to take, what is the depends? All right. Like the diaper that old people wear, the depends. Well, make init CPIO, which is regenerate the init RAMFS and recreate those fucking drivers. When? During the post transaction. Executing what? Well, you're going to execute the command user bin make init CPIO capital P. Now, why do we do capital P? Well, capital P is very fucking important. Let's say that you're one of those guys who are like, or gals who are like, I want multiple fucking kernels. It's a logical thing. The capital P regenerates for every fucking kernel that's on your system. If you don't do capital P, it's going to freak the fuck out. It's going to rebuild for once. That's for all presets and kernels and shit you have installed. Okay? Capital P is very fucking important. This is where punctuation comes alive. You understand that? All right, now that we're done, we're installed, boys. We're good. Exit. And then you want to do a fucking reboot. And you want to pull your drive out. You ain't fucking with that shit anymore, that's for sure. So look at what Linux looks like rebooting. It's got your motherboard. It's booting in. Whoa, look at that. As long as you're seeing green OKs, God is on your side. Hey, we're in now. So now it's time to log in. And bam, we have it installed. Not totally, you know, we still got a fucking ways to go, don't we? Okay, so now that everything is installed, I want to do a quick thing. Systemctl failed. Yeah, boy, nothing fucked up. No fucked up. Now it's time. Now, you could use Linux like this, but I'm going to ask people in the fucking audience, do you want a GUI? Do you want a little bit of a beautiful thing to look at? You know? You want to be able to watch your hentai? Well, now we need a fucking GUI. Now, I know people are going to ask me what I do. Listen, boys. I'm not getting myself XFCE, boys. This isn't 1995 anymore. I'm not getting myself GNOME because I'm not a fucking idiot. I'm getting myself KDE Plasma because I got a nice computer and we're going to fucking roll out that way. All right, so first we need Mesa. So sudo pacman s Mesa. This is where sudo is needed because we're not in our root account anymore. We're going to download Mesa. All right, I know that I had it installed. I just do this because it's fucking clean for me. I'm going to go and reinstall it again. Now it's time to get our Zork server. Now, you may have heard of things like fucking Wayland and shit. Wayland is good. But we're going to stick with God's intended Zorg, okay? This is what we're going to go with. Zorg server. We're going to get Zorg apps. We're going to get Zorg X in it. We're going to get Zorg TWM. We're going to get Zorg X clock. You might be like, Muta, why are we getting all of this? It's because the wiki fucking says so, okay? That's pretty much what it is. You're going to hit enter. It's going to be like, whoa, you want all? Fuck yeah. It's 11 megabytes. You sure you want to deal with all? Yes. And look at that. It's fucking installing that shit. We're getting it going. Somebody says, who likes lowly? Okay. All right, we're trying to be good boys here, okay? We're not trying to get fucking busted by the feds. Oh, look at that, we installed it. Now, moment of truth. If God is on our side, typing in the word start X. Whoa, dude, we got a little GUI. We got a clock. We got 3 terminal windows. But that isn't kosher. We're gonna exit out of here, okay? We're gonna close that. We're gonna make that, whoa. We're gonna make that shit look prettier. Clear that out of there. God damn, that's disgusting. Now it's time to get our package manager. Sudo pacman s plasma for KDE. SDDM for our login manager. Whoa, you want all of it? Fuck yeah. You want the default? Fuck yeah. You want GStreamer? Fuck yeah. Hit yes. Whoa. Look at that. We're installing it. Somebody's like, imagine using KDE Plasma. Listen, I just like KDE a lot. That shit's golden. It's going to download all those fucking... I know you guys like bloat. Listen, man. This ain't grandma's fucking system anymore. This is my system. Real men use i3. That is true. I have a VM build for i3. I use i3 in like VMs and shit. Real men use DWM. Listen, it doesn't matter, okay? This is all good as long as you're not using fucking Deepin or some normal, you know, normie shit like that. Actually, Deepin's not too bad. XFCE is good if you're, you know, if you need to like, you know, whittle down your computer. XFCE is fine. I can't just zoom it, unfortunately. Muta, please cancel G Fuel. You're gonna die again in a second. G Fuel did not kill me. It revived me. It's a good product. I like it. In fact, I have a little bit left. I'm gonna sit that shit down and chug it. Don't worry, boys. It'll install. It'll install. If you use code SOG, it'll help me win, and I can get a fucking Arch Linux branded cup. It's up to me, man. When is the OnlyFans coming? If I made an OnlyFans, you think I could upload content like this and still be in like the top 1% and shit? Is XFCE bloat? Nah. Dude, the idea of bloat anymore, it's just not so fucking common as you would expect, man. It's like, if you're on a high-end system like mine, or whatever, if you're on a gaming system, bro, the bloat's not that fucking important, dude. Don't listen to the media hype. Why do I have so much shit fucking missing? It's so out of it. Like, what do I have connected to my fucking system? Why do I have so much connected to my system that's gonna... I'll fix that later on. That's not so fucking important. Anyways, now that's done, we want to do sudo systemctl enable sddm.service. Watch this. We're gonna reboot and connect. Just watch it. Just watch it. Watch this shit, boys. Why can't you? You can. It's called Manjaro. There's plenty of scripts where you can automate, like you can do it. The only reason it's taken me this long is because I'm just typing it for you. Otherwise, I'd be done with this shit in like 10 minutes. It's not that hard. Look at that. It's doing the DHCPC. It's doing the fucking check. Bam, here we are. Whoa, what's that? Login? Whoa, we're connecting. Whoa, look at where we fucking came from, boys. We came from the ghetto all the way to the nicest fucking place in the world. Here we are, KDE. But you guys might be noticing, whoa, this is real blank, Muta. You don't even have a fucking web browser? Yeah, I don't have a web browser. But let me show you guys how to install shit. Go to terminal. Xterm, sudo, pacman s, console. Most important thing in my opinion. Get that new console. We gotta quit out from this fucking poor man Xterm into a proper God-intended terminal. Okay? With this terminal, I have the power to enlarge text. Sudo pacman s. Let's get fucking Firefox, little furry fox action. Okay. Let's get ourselves a little groomer box action. All right, and let's get ourselves a little gaming action. Whoa. Bam. Discord is a groomer tool, dude. Discord is for the groomers. But it's cool. As you can see, this is how we install. Normally on Windows, you're downloading through fucking, services that can be, fucking intercepted in between. Linux is just that easy. Whoa! Hold on. I want a file manager. Let me do Dolphin. Let me also get Kit. You see how fast it installs? Whoa, I have Furry Fox. Hell yeah, dude. Now I can browse for hentai. Whoa, I have Groomer Box enabled, dude. I can fire up Groomer Central. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Whoa, I have Steam, bro. Get me that Steam action. I want to play some video games. People are always like, do Linux games have fucking anything? And goddamn. Are all those install packages on an open source Linux server? No, it's just part of the package repository. Shit. God damn. How is it so fast? Because it's Linux. It's an advanced operating system. This isn't your dad's operating system. Jesus Christ. Yay. Let's get the OR working here. Let me go to yay OR here real quick. I want to access fucking the OR, which is the big part. Now, you got to be real careful because there could be some fucked up packages here, but I'm going to get the snapshot here real quick, save that on my system. All right, open that up. Downloads. Whoa, I can't open that? Well, fuck me. Don't worry, kids. Papa Muta's here to tell you. You want to get 7-zip, sudo pacman s, p7-zip, arc as a tool, hit enter. Muta didn't download Spider fucking Solitaire. I don't fuck around with that shit. I probably should. Whoa, Steam is working? Well, fuck my asshole. That shouldn't be possible, Jesus Christ. But it is. All right, let me log into my account. Better do one of these. I told you guys I was gonna fuck her. We don't use WinRAR in this fucking operating system. All right, what do you take me for? What do you take me for, kids? All right, Jesus, this is the Magic School Bus, not the fucking crack den. All right, we don't use WinRAR here. Jesus Christ. Motherfucker, kids using Bandicam in my class, and I send them straight to the shitter. Jesus, you guys are out of your fucking mind. I know I could just untar. No. Let's see, we've got yay right over here. We got all this fucking bullshit. Wait a minute. What game do we want to get? Wait, first off, I got to turn off family-friendly fucking mode. All right. Oh, shit. Let's enable this nonsense real quick. System, Steam Play, enable Steam Play for other titles. 5.13.0. Yes, restart Steam, all that shit. I have family friendly because I do. I share my games with my brother, so you need to fucking have this family friendly shit for some stupid reason. Let's install yay real quick. Open terminal. Tar xzvf. Fucking what is this? Yay. Tar z cool. cda to get into it. Make package. CSI. Yeah, we don't use fucking Bandicam, dude. That's what we call homeless video recording, Whoa. Yes. Install Go as a dependency. Yeah, we're gonna write an autobiography. God, I don't know. Thank you, Ivanator, for the fucking 5-tier subs, dude. Jesus. Thank you, brother. Whoa, what games do we download? Now, these are all Windows games, Some of these have Linux versions, but they're really like their... Well, you know what? I got a great fucking game right now. Great fucking game. Let's play some Yakuza 0. Oh, you guys want to play FF15? You want to fucking download 100... How big is FF15? Actually, that might be fun. Final Fantasy. Windows Edition. Whoa, 86 gigabytes? Whoa. Nah, dude, fuck that. We're gonna download Yakuza. So, hold on. Do you guys want to do Yakuza, or do you want to, like, test the graphic cards of Linux? Because I'm gonna shut these Linux haters down. You guys want to see Yakuza Kiwami 2 running at max settings on fucking on Linux, or do you want to see Yakuza 0? It's up to you guys. They're both the same. They're both good games. You guys want to see me max this fucker out? Let's do it. Install the game. So, yeah, prep that file for install. Install the package manager, yes. So, let's get Brave browser, because I like Brave a lot. So, yay Brave. Or /BraveBin is the one I use. Diffs to show? Don't worry, I've already read it a million times. Download FNAF.